I'm leaving Bali in a few days and I have decidedly mixed feelings about that. It's not easy to leave a place this beautiful and transformative. This 2,200 square mile island in Southeast Asia has so much allure, so much wisdom to offer. I believe it's one of the giant energy centers on the globe, like a portal. Almost anyone who's spent a month here will tell you that. I started my journey in Ubud near the center of Bali. Why? Because Ubud is a spiritual place and I'm a spiritual kind of guy. Heck, the name Ubud even means medicine. Ubud is an exotic place with monkey forests, sacred temples, yogis galore, and an opportunity to taste the rich Balinese culture. But it was the worst trip of my life. It seemed like a new thing went wrong every day. ATMs not working, trouble with transportation, mosquito-infested lodging, loneliness, depression, and finally, a deeply troubling bout with insomnia. At week 3, I seriously considered flying back to the United States to regroup and choose another destination. Perhaps one with functioning ATMs that didn't charge as much as $20 per transaction, or required one to ride a scooter or motorcycle every day, the one thing I promised myself I would not do in Bali so I could mitigate risk. So now I needed a healer to sleep again regardless of my job. In the first episode of this season, I eagerly described all the local temples I would visit. That no longer mattered to me at all. I focused on healers. I went to arguably the most famous healer in all of Bali, Chakorda Ray, grandson of the last king of Ubud. He poked me and prodded me with a sharp stick until I jumped in the air. It had zero effect long term. Thank God it only cost me $25. I decided not to give up on Bali, but I did give up on Ubud, so I moved to Canggu Beach on the south part of the island. In the car, driving from Ubud to Canggu, every mile that passed, I felt calmer and better. By the time I reached the beach, I knew I'd made the right decision. At my new guest house, the owner greeted me warmly and showed me my $13 a night room, which was charming, immaculate, mosquito-free, and 5 minutes from the ocean. As an afterthought, he pointed to a scooter and said I could rent it for about $2 a day. I said yes to the rental and broke my one promise to myself about Bali because I remembered how nearly impossible not having a scooter made my life in Ubud. When I rode the scooter the following day, I felt a sense of exhilaration and freedom I hadn't felt since the day I moved to Peru a year ago. Riding in the throngs of humanity and minor chaos made me feel more aligned with the island, not to mention it made my life 1,000 times easier. I still had trouble sleeping, but the ocean, riding down the highways at 70 kilometers per hour, and the casual, non-pretentious atmosphere of Canggu all made me feel alive and vibrant again. After a week of pure leisure, I resumed my search for an effective healer in earnest. I was sleeping a little bit, but it was still a big problem. I saw 3 people, 2 of whom you saw in previous episodes. 1, Pak Hiru from Jakarta, Java. I went to see Pak 5 times. 2, Shiwana on the beach in Sanur. And 3, Sammy at Bali Chai Healing, who I did not show in a previous episode because it was too dark to show the process. After I saw these 3 people, my ability to sleep returned completely to normal. Now, of course, I can't prove that these men were the cause, but I feel confident in telling you this. If you go to see any of these men for a session in Bali, you will feel different and you will feel better. In my opinion and experience, there are substantial health benefits from reflexology when practiced by competent individuals. In conclusion, what are the most powerful lessons I learned from Bali? An idea dawned on me traveling to Java. I was going to interview people on all my travels for the foreseeable future with this question: what is the most important lesson of your entire life? I also learned a certain amount of risk is healthy and necessary if you're a world traveler, and there's no way around this if you want to truly explore. Because of what I went through in Bali, like a phoenix rising through the ashes of difficulty, despair, and insomnia, feel deeply connected to the island. I went to Bali to find what I consider to be great healers, and I succeeded. Their names and locations are in the credits. Come to this island in Southeast Asia. You will not find a more magical place or kinder people anywhere on this earth.